Hello, nerd. Welcome to the stream. Since we last hung out, I was working on, I think I just finished Underworld 16 and its variants. It was just a 3x3 single island with like a gravestone on it, so there wasn't a ton to do with it. But after I met with the Turning Wheel boys last night, I stayed up late and worked on some more levels. What you see here is 17. Let's go through them real quick. So this is another sort of organically shaped floating graveyard island. So this is the original. Only thing I did here is add the portal as is necessary. And I created a treasure room here where if you open the treasure room, then the ghouls spawn. What's up, Ink? Good to see you. And then in this variant, I made a little set of rooms. One of them has an enemy in it, and that'll spawn on this island. And you can get through this. So this hallway goes through to the left and right side of the island. Oh, you know what? I just noticed something. The back end of this island is not accessible from here, and that's not accessible. Why don't I'm glad I did this review with you. Why don't I fix this up real quick? So I need to add an exit here. Otherwise, the exit could spawn out here and it would not be accessible, which is unacceptable. So that's all it takes. That lever is now going to open both sides of this room, so you can get through to the back of the island if you need to. And then D, I've been intending to put like a little archipelago of underworld islands as one of the variants for all of these. And then there's this one with like a waterfall. Just again for some more variety, and a fountain. Everyone loves a fountain, don't they? Okay, and then on to 18A. Let's go to 18 here. Okay, so this is one that Sheridan called Compound, or Complex, I think. So this is the original. Again, only change was that I added portal here, and I changed the floor that the portal's on. Otherwise, it's the same as Sheridan's original design, so it's still credited to him. And then here's a variant that is another sort of indoor complex. Because the exterior of this location is like, it looks almost like a keep with a bridge out front. So I wanted to give it sort of that more architectural feel. So this one has a main hall, some standard doors you can get out of, 2 monsters trapped in different cells, and then we've got a secret treasure chest hidden on some lava back here. So you can't access this treasure chest unless you have dig or water walk or levitate. And who knows, the chest itself may be locked, and so that may be additional challenges for you. So 18C, this is the floating interior islands variant for this complex. And D is, this is the one that's the most open room. I try to have at least one variant that just feels like an open room, but this one also has like a path. If you teleport in, where are we at? From here, then you've got to go around this whole path to get to the other side here if you want to exit the complex, as you may need to if the exit's out there. And then there's this big fountain, and I'm using this, like, the graystone architecture feels very, very alien in here. It feels very clean and human, and so I added some furniture in here to suggest the sort of more civilized nature of this odd fountain. You might wonder, what is this fountain for? And no one will have an answer for you, including me. So that leads to, yeah, these are some levels you will have never found in the game. Ink says, couldn't see the previous stream, you were sleep deprived, having a nightmare. Okay, it's crazy, dude. I like, nightmares are interesting. Like, I'm not really scared of them anymore, You know, I wake up in an emotional state when I have a nightmare, but like now I'm not afraid. It's more just like, huh, that was an interesting dream. Like, what ideas were being expressed in this dream? So that is an interesting dream that you described to me. What's the background noise? Oh, my dad shares my office with me now, and so he's just typing. Delicious popcorn popping or typing, one of the two. So this level here, you see how long that is? That's actually 38 tiles long. It was originally 43 tiles long. And so what that means is you literally never saw this in the game because the underworld map itself is only 40 tiles large. And the way that the room generation system, like the room generator, the way it works is that it spawns the map, like the base map file, which is 40 by 40, and then it picks randomly what room to put down first and sees if it will fit where it tries to put it. And there's literally no way for a 43 wide room to fit in a 40 tile space. And so this is a set of tiles that you've never seen before. It's effectively a level design bug that these never spawned before because they were just made at the wrong size. So so I've chopped them down to 38 tiles, so a mere 5 tiles, and then created variants. They're called divider. I believe that's what Sheridan originally called these. Or division, yeah. So with the intent understood to be like, you know, this is something that's expected to basically cut the whole map in half. I decided that that I would keep the spirit of that intact. You know, it sort of funnels. If it ever spawns, which would be rare, but it could spawn now, it'll effectively split like the top half of the map from the bottom half of the map because it's such a long piece. Love your game. Mechanus is my favorite. What's up, Wambachaka? Cool name. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy the game. I'm one of a team of 3 that is working full time. And Sheridan was the founder and original creator of Barony, but I've been working on it with him for about 7 years now. And our third full-time contributor is Wall of Justice, and he's been working for, I want to say, maybe 5 years. So yeah, we take a lot of responsibility for what the current state of the game is and where it's going, and I'm glad you love it so much. Ink, you said accidentally showing some chats. Goodness sakes, Ink. I don't know why you want to bring attention to that kind of thing. Yeah, I had an error in what OBS was deciding to capture because my monitor order had changed. But yeah, after I saw that happened, I looked at the things that were exposed and it was all very harmless. Okay, so we have our first variant here, which is truest to the original spirit that Sheridan had for this divider. The little holes in the gold that you see inside here is something that I added. And I also decided to put 2 portals in here so that if you spawned, you know, I didn't want to necessarily say that you would have to be able to explore the whole thing via 1 portal. And so you might actually have to move through 2 portals to get to see both sides of this island. And if you just like have a ton of magic or a digging staff or a pickaxe, then you can try to explore these things for gold or other hidden secrets in here. But it's really a bigger chunk of land to chop through in the game, like a depth of walls that's far bigger than you really ever see in the rest of the game. So I think it's kind of interesting just for that fact. A friend told you about Barony about a year ago and then told my friends, and now you have 8 friends on Steam who play. That's awesome. Have you been playing the beta, Wambachaka? Okay, the second version of this looks very similar at the outset. And it will from the exterior, but I made like a catacomb maze through this chunk of walls so that you could get to any side if this version spawns. So there's only 1 portal instead of the 2 on this version. So I think that's kind of fun. And it'll be dark in here, so it's actually a pretty bad place to encounter traps because I didn't put any torches in on purpose. This one I wanted to, speaking of catacombs, I wanted to make it feel like a burial place in here. This is 8 skeletons, which is a lot of enemies for a single room. But these are level 2 skeletons. So you're in the underworld. These guys will be a cakewalk for you. So I really added the skeletons more to feel like part of the ambience. Like holy crap, what is this? Like this heap of bones that I'm exploring is kind of the feeling that I wanted you to have when you're going through this place. And here's the portal where you come in the middle. A very tiny maze, that's right. The UI is impressive, very thoughtful design. Thank you so much for saying so, Wambachaka. If you're interested in the design process of the UI, you can go and take a look at our Kickstarter update materials, and I've got videos there that talk about sort of the philosophy of how I broke down the game's UI design and built it back up. And also in updates, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or whatever, I post some wireframes of what the new UI outline should look like way before the art was done. And so if you're just interested in the process of what it takes to develop a game UI, we have kind of it's nice that we have this history online that you can go and plumb if you're interested. Can funny bones spawn in this room? Yeah, a ton of funny bones could spawn on in theory. Good question. Speaking of which, I almost put a trap with parachute, like a cursed parachute in it. I decided not to do that because you could have it spawn multiple times per level, and that seemed like it would be dumb, and so I didn't want to do that. Not in a scripted way. Like if it randomly happens because the enemy just happens to spawn twice in one level, like that's fine. But if I bake it static into a level, it would feel stupid to me if it spawns more than once in a single level, you know? Or even twice in a single playthrough, I think would be way too much, so I decided not to add it. Yeah. So this is less a maze and more of like a room-to-room exploration, where if you explore all the way to both ends, you're rewarded with a treasure chest. No static enemy placements, but this is a big enough chunk of space that it's likely enemies will be wandering this, and traps. And so I decided I'd leave the challenge up to the level generator on this one. Walking that line, when it comes to procedural level design, it's one of those things. It's like the more you control, the more you can guarantee what the experience is going to be, which means the less dynamic the experience will be. And so, like, there's always this sort of this temperature gauge you got to maintain to make sure that you're not controlling too much, but you're are controlling enough. Here's our floaty islands version of the divider. The little grass icons represent where the bridges go, if you're not aware. And then we're going to move on to 20A. Oh, yeah, 20. So this one is split up into like a stone half and a bone half. That's a fun rhyme. And so the A variant I made very similar to the previous A variant. This one I made sort of a lever puzzle where you start in the middle of this collection of rooms, and every lever you pull opens a gate on the opposite side of the room, and so you end up having to ping pong back and forth. Which, I don't know, like, it sounds like a lot of busy work and backtracking right now, but I'd like to test it and see if it's fun. It's just like, it's kind of puzzly, it's a little different than other rooms, and I like adding a different experience, like something to mix up the pace every now and then. This is a 2 portals design, so the middle actually has no floor, so you'll never walk across this in the middle unless you have dig and levitate. And instead, you'll spawn on the portal, and there's a gold and an item over here if you want to dare dodging some boulder traps, and it's the same way on the other side. And then another floaty islands version of the horizontal divider. So I think that actually goes over all the levels that I worked on. Oh, this is one more. Oh yeah. What's up, Nerman? Another one joins the fray. No, I'm not going to make the gates open immune. I really only make gates open immune if I think that the order of the puzzle is really important. In general, I want the generated levels to feel like you can solve them in whatever way you feel is most appropriate to your current loadout. I don't want to control... I want to put problems in front of you. I don't want to control how you solve them. Because that's the creative part of the game, you know? New intermission rooms? No, this is Underworld. So, this one has 5 portals in it, which is absolutely excessive. I acknowledge right out the gate that that's too many portals. But, so if something like this spawns, it's rare that this will spawn, and only, you know, a part of the time that this spawns will it be this one. But, yeah, this is the center portal that is exposed to the air of the outside of the underworld. Like the open space void of the underworld. But if you spawn into these rooms, it's just a little circle arena with a skeleton in it. And some of them have signs inside. Like this one has a sign. And some gold. And I wrote some proverbs in Latin in here. So hopefully, even though there's a little bit of tedium going from one portal to the next, and not knowing where you're going to end up, I'm hoping that it'll feel sort of like spooky and isolated, and having a sign in Latin will make it feel like kind of alien and, you know, give a sense of like dread, like you're trapped in the underworld. That's kind of what I'm going for. The calcium storage facility, that's right. Well, again, the skeleton's not there for challenge. It's really there for the mood. And you know, it could be funny buns. But the other thing is when you teleport with these teleport shrines, you're totally disoriented when you arrive. So you don't know what's around you. You could arrive and be instantly getting hit in the back by a skeleton. And so I actually don't want to put challenging enemies right next to teleporters if I can help it. Alright, so now we're on to new content here. What we have here, once again, is a map that is too tall. This is a 43 tall map. There's no way I can accommodate that. So I'm going to change it down to 38 like I did the others. And we're going to offset this by like 4 tiles, let's say. Select. Okay, now it's represents its previous shape fairly well. This is the vertical division. No, that's alright, Ink. I appreciate it anyway. So we're gonna open 21, and we're gonna just copy this. And it's a good time to draw more icons while you're watching. Glad you're here again, Mr. Stream from last time. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, go nuts. It's like I like productivity streams, you know? It's good to hang out and work while other people are working. It always feels good. Okay, so we're gonna shrink this down to 6 by 36. Okay, and one of the things I'm going to do with the original here is I'm actually going to eat away this here. That'll give me more flexibility to decide if the center is a gap or not. Good day, Garvikin. Good to see ya. now we made this, we can just copy paste it. And I want to emphasize that you literally have never seen these maps in game before. There's like a good like 10th or 15 or 10% of the underworld maps have never spawned. So that's like, it's got like 10 or 15% less variety than every other tile set in the game. Okay, so we'll save this. It's 21, and then this will be 21A. Okay. So it obviously needs a teleporter, because otherwise you can't get to it. That's the new cruelty. South. We're gonna nestle it right up against the wall here, so it's a little bit protected from the chaos of the underworld. Well, let's go ahead and put a pillar on either side of it. Okay. Hanging out in bed, waiting for your friend to come back. Or role play? Okay. Nice play with the UI finally. Good job to everyone on the team. Thank you, Garvikin. I appreciate it. Yeah, we worked real hard on it. So I'm just catching up on some of the chat. I think I will go ahead and dig some holes in this so that there's some gameplay to be offered by this big empty space here. Whether it be in a relief for your pickaxe or some gold you'll find. A skeleton working into the UI. Throw some gold around here. Boom, boom, boom. Oops. All right. 6 gold if you care to mine it all out. Otherwise, very simple 1A. 21A. Okay. And then we're going to work on version B. Okay, here's the part where I hollow it all out and let the player explore it. Put this off to the side. Put this here, here, and here, and here. I'm glad you brought that up, Garvikin. Yeah, Ink, I don't know if you've been checking in on the comments, but people are leaving positive comments about your editing. You should know. I think I want to make like a bridge here. You don't want to overinflate your ego? Good call. Alright. Just gonna put a little bridge here. I finally memorized the model numbers and offset values. Nerman showed me Vagante and the Necron State. Dude, I love both of those games, but Vagante for me is like really special because, you know, it's been out for a really long time, like Barony was, and I just discovered it, and so it feels like it really deserves more attention. It's a really cool game that's a lot like Barony, if Barony was a 2D side scroller, and so I'd love it if that game got more attention. It's a very cool game. Yeah, Necrodancer is really good. That game's a bit of an indie darling. Like, people are pretty aware of it, and they, you know, they made Cadence of Hyrule, and so, you know, they're literally working on first-party Nintendo IP. So, Crypt of the Necrodancer is pretty well known compared to Vagante. Not to be a hipster about video games. Just like as a fellow indie, I like to see indie games get or underappreciated indie games. I like seeing them get noticed. Multiple similar UI elements. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Yep. Not gonna lie, I found it just like Barony with my brother, and it's like with co-op games we played in like pirated copies. Glad I take both from Steam. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. Whew. Okay. Sneak, did you see that Barony had over 1,000 views on Twitch a few days ago? Yes, I did. That was the... What's his name? Keef something. He did a 16-player run, which is just hilarious. Yeah, that stuff is always good for us. You know, for obvious reasons. People often come to us and are like, have you ever thought about getting a big streamer to, like, stream Barony? And every time that happens, it's like, oh, no, I never thought of that. Wow, thanks for the idea. But it's like you can't convince a streamer to stream your game. They just have to love it. They just have to find your game and love it, and then they choose to stream it. And so it's always very nice when, you know, somebody chooses to, they find Barony on their own and they choose to stream it. It's really cool. It's like, it's coverage that we cannot ask for, and we don't do anything to earn, and other than do our best to make a great game. And so it's like, it's very validating when we get that coverage. Please buy our game. Oh yeah, you're talking about during the piracy days? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put like a monster and some treasure in this room. Love to see YouTubers. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, there's nothing we can do. There's literally nothing we can do. I've reached out to bigger streamers and like streamers that play old RPGs, old first-person dungeon crawlers, like, you know, where I think that Barony would be exactly the kind of game that they would love, and they just ignore me. Like, there's nothing we can do about it, you know? There's literally nothing we can do. There might be some people that are like, yeah, I'll cover your game for $6,000 or $10,000, but we can't afford that. And even if we could, it wouldn't be worth the investment. Like, we'd get a few months, maybe a couple months, where people would buy the game, but it wouldn't total up to $10,000 in profit, you know. So the best thing we can do is just do what we know how to do, and that is make a good game, and just focus on that. In the best games receive attention boost too. Oh, we're victims of it's popular now, it sucks. Yeah, I'm sure that would happen to Barony in the same way. You know, people like that. You know, it's like a niche game that they feel like they discovered. Yeah, I understand why people get a little like weird about it. Okay, so if you choose to go all the way across this big land bridge of nonsense, from here all the way down to here, you'll have a lever that you can pull. There's a monster in here and 2 treasure chests. And that is Underworld 21B. No, Nerman, it didn't ruin your impression of me. I know, like, piracy is pretty common for games in general. Assuming that's what you're talking about. I don't know what to say. I mean, like, I guess I can admit that when I was a lot younger, and I'm talking a very long time ago, I pirated some games. And, there was a few times, like, people who pirate games, they often do this thing where they say, oh, you know, if I love it, I'll buy it, or whatever. And, like, most of the time, I don't think they really do. I think people just convince themselves that that's what they'll do, and then they find excuses for why they shouldn't have to buy it. Like, oh, that game was only fun for 50 hours, so I'm not going to buy it. And it's like, dude, if you didn't like the game enough to buy it, but you liked it enough to play it, then you just like getting stuff for free. That's all that is. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like people do mental gymnastics to like justify why it's moral to pirate software. But if you're just freaking poor and you're like, whatever, like I can't afford to play games and I really want to, and if I had any money at all, I would pay. Like that's a little bit different to me because you're not making excuses. It's just like I literally don't have money. Like I literally just don't have any money. So, I don't know. It's kind of a nuanced subject. And I want to acknowledge, too, that, like, I think a lot of people who play Barony are actually quite young. Like, teenagers and stuff. And so it's probably pretty likely that a lot of them don't have jobs and they may not get an allowance. And it's like, well, what do I expect them to do? You know? I want them to be able to play the game. So, anyway. I guess what I'm saying is, no hate. No hate. I definitely am against people pirating Barony. And I definitely think a lot of people will pirate games, play the hell out of them, and then at the end decide, oh, I didn't like this game, and so I'm not going to spend money on it. And I think that's like a cowardly way to do it. Like, if you don't think a game looks good, then don't buy it. Like, you know? It's like if I went to a restaurant, and you're like, I'm not sure if your food's going to be any good. So why don't you give me a meal for free, and if I like it, I'll pay for it. It's like, that's not how it works. Like, the work to make that product was already done. Like, you know, the person who made that can't back out and say, oh, I don't want to sell it to you. Or I don't want to give you this. Yeah, choosing beggars. And so for me, like, I stopped pirating games because it was like, it's like a supply and demand thing. Like, if I wanted bad enough to pirate it, like to go out of my way and bother pirating it, that means that I should have bought it. You know what I mean? Like, because if I didn't really want it, then I wouldn't have pirated it. You know, that's on me. I made that choice, and I don't like making excuses for my choices. I want to own and be responsible for the choices I make. So, I don't know. Sorry if this sounds kind of preachy. Like, I don't want to get super moralistic about piracy. I hope it's obvious that I'm not super judgmental about it. I just think people do a lot of lying to themselves for selfish reasons in general in life, and piracy is just one example of where they keep doing it. You know what I mean? Old school people will know more like roguelite. New ones are like more action games like CSGO. That's really funny. It's funny now because like CSGO is actually kind of an old game now. Like that game's been around for a while. Missed the demo days. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd like it if we could release a demo of Barony. In general, I think members of our team would like it if we could give more away for free so that more people could have access to the game. But like, I don't know that there's a way we can do that right now and stay profitable. The demo for Dark Messiah and Might and Magic. I played that. That was a good demo. That was a good game in general. Free to play weekend. We have done a free weekend on Steam. Good point, by the way, Wambachaka. We actually just talked about that at last night's Turning Wheel meeting. We did a free weekend on Steam, and it seemed to go pretty well. There's no reason why we wouldn't do another one. Yeah, exactly. Doom got popular because they gave away their shareware. But the thing is, what people don't know about Doom is that, like, Doom, as popular as that Doom shareware was, Doom wasn't making many money. Like, the amount of people who actually, like, called up or mailed in money to register the full copy of Doom and get all 3 episodes, it's actually a very small amount of people. Like, the studio was getting by, but they weren't, like, it was a phenomenon that was popular in the news. Every, like, tech job company, like, everyone at those places were all playing Doom. Everyone in the whole computer, like, personal computer world, everyone knew and was playing Doom, and they were just kind of making it by. Like, they should have been filthy, stinking rich, but they weren't. Not until they released Doom 2. And so, like, it's great that they gave away so much for free, and I think it really helped their future. But for the immediate moment, like, you know, they still had bills to pay. Like, they weren't rich right away, even though everyone loved their game. And Barony is not as revolutionary and doesn't have the appeal that Doom does. And so I feel like I can't like, if we gave away like a big demo, like a big shareware copy of Barony away, like, even if we had the same success Doom did, it wouldn't, like Doom's success wasn't that great when they were doing Doom 1, you know? They had to make another game before they could really capitalize on all of that like, goodwill that they had built up in the community. Yeah. The Vermin 2 got so many people from the free week. Yeah, they got 10 million, and now they're selling a bunch of cosmetics. So the Vermintide 2 model is something else I've also talked about in Turning Wheel with this subject, is it's like, if we want to give something away for free, then that means we need more in-game purchase, like in-game transactions. And, you know, we don't like microtransactions. But, you know, cosmetics only purchases, I don't have anything morally against that. Our DLC sells really well. Like, our DLC is crazy popular. Like, it outperforms most games' DLC. Like, we have a 30% adoption rate of our DLC, which is insane. Like, you can't expect those numbers. That's pretty crazy. And so it's possible that if we went free, then, you know, if we had a similar adoption rate for our DLC, maybe we can make a ton of money. It's just really hard to know, you know? There's, like, no way to know for sure what's going to happen if we did something like that. And right now, if you look at the money that we make, the vast majority of our money is made by sales of the game, you know? So it's like, okay, we make the game free. Now that's our primary income is now gone. So, and we'd be gambling, like, well, I hope people buy enough DLC to make up for that. When Barony was free on Epic, did that work for you guys? It was more news than we had ever gotten before. But the sales on the... So, you know, like 4 million people activated it on Epic Games. And I would say a not meaningful percentage of that group of people bought the DLC. So I think the short answer is it wasn't that great for us. I mean, it was great for... I should rephrase that. It was great. It did what we wanted. We wanted to make a huge impact and, like, have a lot of people know about the game who had never heard of it before. Like, to that end, it was good. It did what we wanted it to do. But it wasn't like, wow, we could get by just selling DLC. Like, it was nothing like that. If that makes sense. How about the player base? Well, the player base doesn't matter if we're not making any money off of it. And so we don't have any microtransactions or anything. Like, we just have DLC. So, like it's fine and all if we have a nice big player base, but if they're not paying anything for the game, like, how does that help us? I don't know. This is kind of like an ongoing topic in Turning Wheel, so I probably shouldn't talk too much more about it. Because like we're still trying to figure out what is the right call for us to do, like in terms of keeping this game alive and staying in business. Just straight up staying in business. But you would say a bigger player base than more people know and talk about the game. Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable that we have, like, since we released on Epic, we have had more people, we have had more profitable periods than ever before. But those numbers aren't really justified on Epic Game Store. It's really like Steam where our numbers have continued to grow. And so we don't have a way to know if it's because of the Epic giveaway or if it's because in general just the game has been getting better and it's been getting more popular. So we're kind of left to guess why we're more profitable now. But it's true that we are more profitable than we were. That's absolutely true. Okay, I've decided to have only one gate on each side here. Just a bunch of empty rooms. I'm gonna walk through and see how it feels. You know, monsters and treasure and stuff will spawn in these rooms. Just procedurally. Okay. Kevin Conroy died. The Batman voice. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I really enjoyed. So when I was growing up, dude, like nobody cared about Batman until Tim Burton's Batman came out, the movie with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and then suddenly like Batman was cool again. And then right after that happened, Batman the Animated Series came out, and that's when I personally became obsessed with Batman as a kid. I freaking loved that show. Batman the Animated Series was incredible, and I think that's when the Batman voice actor, Kevin Conroy, made his debut as Batman. And he did such a good job, and he also was the voice in the Arkham games. And, like, the reason why I loved him in the animated series is still alive and well in his video game voice work. He did such a good job. A friend of mine said something along the lines of like, he's so good at lecturing people that he really makes you believe that he is a moral person, is the way he put it. Batman the Brave and the Bold. I didn't really watch that one. I've heard that it was good and that the action video game was good, but I never really personally played those. But yeah, like, especially recently, people like to hate on Batman because he's rich or whatever. And they'll say things like, he could do a lot more good if he just put all of that money into, like, helping the poor instead of, like, fighting crime. And it's like, I feel like you can only say that if you are not a Batman fan. Like, the world of Gotham is such a corrupt, like, hellhole. Like, any program to help the poor would be immediately overrun by corrupt bureaucrats and crime lords that would take over the noble effort for their own self-interest. Like, that's why Batman is necessary. It's because he's like an assassin. He goes in and he takes out the corrupt, like, ringleader. Old school people because voxels make the game look old. Type of gameplay is not for everyone. More people starting to care now more about graphics than gameplay. You should have to start over after you die. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I saw a negative review from somebody. Really made me laugh today on Steam. You know, for all I care, go and look at the review. It's really funny. They say, this game is not a roguelike. It is a hardcore game. In a roguelike, you start over, but your character gets stronger. That's what a roguelike is. A hardcore game is when you die and you have to start from the beginning with no progress. And these stupid devs, they should know better that this is a hardcore game and not a roguelike. And it's like, you have no idea what you're talking about. It cracks me up so much. Like, it's the funniest thing to me on the planet when people say something really, really stupid, but they're very, very confident about it. That's the best. That's my favorite. When people say really stupid things really confidently, I really enjoy that. Excuse me. Yeah. They're not all geniuses. Confidently correct. Oh yeah, that's a Reddit, isn't it? Or a subreddit. Confidently incorrect. I have a friend who thinks a roguelike is any game which is different every run. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, there's all sorts of definitions floating out there for roguelike. But the fact that this person said specifically that a roguelike is when your character keeps progress is just like so incorrect. I don't even know what to do with that. Like, that's just funny. You know, that's what a roguelite is. That's like, they just defined roguelite and called it roguelike and then lectured us for not being a roguelite. It's just really stupid. Let's put like a sink in here. Look, a sink. That's your reward for going through this room, is you find a sink. The review made you feel anxious and angry. It's because you're protective of us, Ink. That's why. Sink for drink. Oh, I've been forgetting to add this part above my portals. What's up, Grotesque Mannequin? I'm just making levels. What you doing? What your name is? This song rules. I like it. Why not? I really can't add references like that by myself. I would have to get some code collaboration. Like, I could change what the text says, but I couldn't just add a reference by myself. I mean, maybe the programming probably wouldn't be too hard for me to figure out, but I got better things to do. There was once upon a time where I told myself, man, I should get good at programming. And I was like, oh, what? So I can do video editing, 3D animation, 2D animation, modeling, concept art, level design, game systems design, marketing, business development, and programming? No, I think I'm fine. I don't need to learn a whole other skill. I only got Victor to 30? I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, I see. Vermintide. Almost got all the heroes to 30. Yeah. I got all the heroes to 30 a long time ago, which is kind of sad. Like, I wish you had to level each career individually, because I just wanted to spend more time playing each career and getting to learn their talent tree, you know? But what are you gonna do? I don't know. Let's put like a stinking item right here. Maybe like, I don't know, an trap. Like, wow, so cool we have a trap. Let's do this. Look, a pit. Wow, a pit. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put gold. Let's put like new icons for tooltips and tooltips in general. So much good information. Yeah, dude, we've really improved the user experience on that stuff for sure. All right, so we got some arrow traps. Wowie, so creative. Okay. Okay, so this is the south side. All right, that's a room. I mean, these spaces are so big, they're taking me forever to put together. But I'm trying not to zone out about it, because, you know, I care about these rooms. I want them to be good, but man, it just takes a long time. Okay. All right, let's go back to A. Let's do something stupid. Let's just empty out this whole thing. Just empty it out. Just empty it all out. Okay. Someone said in a review that Barony is the gaming equivalent to a Polish person smoking heroin. That's an interesting take. I don't know if I've ever met a Pole who smokes heroin, but I guess I can't say that Barony's not that, because I don't have any experience with it. feels silly. I'm just trying to make a little shrine for the player to spawn on. I really cannot understand how to make a tamale icon. It looks like a shrimp brain. At the same time, it's not a hard material. It's the only food I am not done. So I came up with the idea for tamale before I did the art for it. And I had to struggle with what to make it look like. So first I want to say, don't feel bad. It's a ridiculous food item. It's funny that it's even in the game at all. So the fact that you're struggling with it is it makes perfect sense. I made a stupid idea for a food item and it's in the game and it's my fault. You can blame me. But because tamale is literally just like green slime, a pile of green slime, I decided to attach it to a chunk of what looks like crab or shrimp meat. So just if I use like a big prawn as your inspiration or something is what I would suggest. A prawn with some tamale goo on it, and then that should sell it. I hope that helps. On the other hand, I hope this makes it more clear. Okay, good. I think maybe I didn't put the right ceilings in for all these, so I'm gonna go back and look at them and make sure. Okay, this one doesn't have the right ceiling. This one doesn't have a right ceiling. And I was on a roll for neglecting the ceilings above the portals. It's like I tried to be really consistent about making sure it was right every time. All right. We are done with 21. And only to be faced with yet another long vertical divider level. I'm not mad, Sheridan. I'm not mad. You know, Sheridan gave me trust to go ahead and rework these however I saw fit. So I don't have to do this, but I am the kind of person that really benefits from working inside of a box. It really helps me understand my requirements. So I'm gonna do this. Someone said a neckbird is required to play Barony. I mean, it's a joke. I can explain it to you if you want to. It makes sense. It's not a bad joke. It's not wrong, I would say. Well, it's like it's kind of an insult, but it's in a as long as it's a positive review, they're doing it just to be funny. So yeah, a neckbeard as a stereotype is just somebody who really likes pointlessly detailed rules and useless technical facts that they can, you know, be proud of how much they know about this really niche and pointless subject. And so a game that's good for neckbeards is like an RPG with a lot of statistics and data. Thank you, Sneak. I want to ask, can I share with you what I did like I make with books? Really need some rating for it to feel more good about it. Yeah, go ahead. Cameron, go ahead. So basically, Ink, he's saying that that Barony is a game for big old nerds, and I think that's fair. Barony is a game for big old nerds. Barony Nerd Gaming. I think I should sleep. My brain is getting foggy and your eyes are closing. Yeah, man, go to bed. Thanks for tuning in, Hank. It's good to see you. Yeah, yeah. Stick around. Good to see you. There's something innately horrifying to me about this pit. Maybe it's because, like, the purple underworld pods are climbing all over it. It makes me think it's really slimy and slippery, and then you can just fall in and die. It's horrifying and gross. It can be difficult because you try to mimic the voxel models. Yeah. Well, I like that you do. I mean... I think that's one of the things that's going to make it feel like your work really belongs in the game for your mod. Is because you're putting in an effort to make sure it looks like the in-game stuff. It's how Undertale starts. Oh, Undertale. I mean, I kind of want to put, like, spike traps all over this pit. Something like that. So yeah, you could dig through this, but it would be awful. Okay. We got our first variant. Let's make a second one. Okay, these variants have come together pretty quickly so far, which I'm happy about. I think I'm doing a little compromising on what I want to do with this room, because I want it to feel like you spawn into a certain kind of space, but for the sake of variety, I'm kind of compromising that. Is the underworld the same in intermission between caves and swamps? The levels are the same, yes, but the spawns are different. And the number of levels in the underworld is different. But yeah, the levels are the same. It's a good question. Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah, I can appear in both places, and I'm being cognizant of that. Like, I'm putting some monsters in place, but the only ones that are like from a certain difficulty are skeletons, which are early game. Early game enemy, so it's not going to be too powerful. And the second is the pentagrams where demons can get summoned. And those only get summoned if you choose to summon them by falling into whatever trap is laid before you. So, in other words, it's the player's fault if they run into enemies that are too high level for them, beyond the normal imps and shadows, which are already quite a bit too dangerous. Yeah, very roguelike. I remember one dungeon crawler for Android, it used letters for enemies. On some special levels, it makes words. Get after like 5-10 deaths, some enemies are not your level. Yeah. Yeah. That's how like NetHack was, is that the enemies were represented by letters and stuff. It's pretty classic roguelike stuff. I need to decide what the sign is going to say here. I want to have this sign say something and I don't know what. Volo inem nihil nin vita tua. Oh, volo inem nihil est in vita tua et civibus OTE Cupidus et erit nunquam desinit in morte. There we go. That's what that sign says. Wanted to ask, is the accent taken from someone or is it made up? That was Latin. That was the language of Latin. I translated the words want for nothing in life and yearn forever in death. And I translated that to Latin using the internet and put it on a sign. Want for nothing in life and yearn forever in death. And what about the human language? Some old thing too. I just kind of made up that proverb on the fly. It sounds like something that people would say to moralize about how you should live without being greedy or something like that. So I try to, I don't know. When I'm writing these, I'm just trying to come up with something that sounds like it might give you a sense of dread about death, because this is the underworld, you know. Crystal Spear is Crystal Halberd, but unused. Yeah. It used to be... Well, I think when we made the Crystal category of equipment, the initial entries that Wall of Justice put in for them. Just called it Spear before we had the art asset ready. And when I made it, and I made it look like a trident, I think that's when he changed the name back to Spear. So, yeah, it's not like an Easter egg or anything. It's just we changed what it would look like. Yeah, that steel halberd is a special snowflake there. It does its own thing. Like a coconut in Team Fortress 2. Separate sprites for the blindfolds to give you an idea to see visual effects on them. That's cool. Like, I think it'd be cool if they had a different visual effect, but just keep in mind that that is going to mean that the player will know what kind of blindfold it is before they identify it. So So that's just something to keep in mind. You know, it'll have a gameplay impact. You know what, let's do this. So make it very hard to see. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I really like 8-bit. It's fun. All right, one more of these big, silly dividers to do. This one has a boulder trap in the middle. I haven't done a ton of trapping in the underworld. It's 2 a.m. You think you go? All right, cool. Thanks for chilling, Nerman. I feel like we got more of a chance to talk than we have in the past. So again, thanks for coming to hang out, and good luck with the icons. Have fun. Cheers. Bye. Shy for talking too much. Yeah, that's fine. No pressure. Thank you. Appreciate it. You too. What's up, Peanut Pirate? Yep, Underworld level design. Overhauling the levels much in the same way that I did for the swamps and mines, but actually this overhaul is more substantial because it includes a totally new way to traverse the underworld. Yeah. So no longer will you have to have levitation to get through the underworld, but it will still be dangerous if you don't, for various reasons. So the beacon thingy, that's right, you got it, and it's already working in game. It works and looks awesome. I just got to make sure that every single level that has more than 2 squares on it can has a teleport beacon on it. And so while I'm doing that, I'm going ahead and adding 200 more levels to the underworld. I assume the model is not supposed to be a pedestal. That's correct, it's not. One underworld run since beta. I think I saw you doing that, but I'm surprised that the pedestal showed up at all. Like I thought that was only supposed to show up if you used the debug command. So I was a little weirded out that you were able to see it. Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe Wall of Justice turned it on or something. Well, no matter. I'll have the update in soon enough to have it working as intended. Let's go ahead and put a gap here. And we'll put some torches. Simple. It's simple, but it's eye-catching, this one. Putting a beacon right here. That's not going to be a great place for it. I need to find a different place for the beacon. I'd kind of like it to be centrally located, but I may not have that luxury. I could put it here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm facing east, that's fine too. Alright, we're gonna make sure that 22... Okay, we haven't even done this part yet. Okay. Okay. We got all 5 variants. We got the base. And now we can move on to 23. Thank goodness we're back to normal size structures. Yeah. It was, yeah, the hero pedestal is a fair way to describe it. Okay, so we're gonna open up 23. On this version, I think we'll make sure that this is all mapped. Select. Okay, and we're gonna call this 7 or 6 by 7. All right, this is variant A because it's the original. We're going to save it as variant A. We need a pedestal on here, though. This is a big enough space that we need a pedestal. Or, sorry, not a pedestal, but a shrine. Let's put it off to one side so it has a higher likelihood of spawning other interesting things on the island. Okay. And it should be facing west already. Okay. This is giving us a nice little island to work with. I don't think we've had very small islands and somewhat larger islands, but or maybe medium size and then big ones. But this is a small but not tiny island, so it'll be fun to come up with a quick variety of like 5 different islands for this one. So this is the most basic, simply variant A. Okay, so we're gonna do variant B by me. And this version is going to have pillars on it. Which, you know, not that big of a change. I don't know if I need to add anything else. Could do something like this. Just to make it look different at least. Yeah, that feels different enough. Let's roll with that. As B. You know what? We might as well put it on the west side of the... Yeah, something like that. Okay. All right, now, version C, I think I'm going to enclose it. Alright, we created a special, very little trap here where if you open this door, then these ghouls will spawn. No matter which side you open it from. You know, it's fun. It's simple. Everyone likes a couple extra ghoul kills. We got one more of these until we're done with this set of variants. Overhauls for every world is really sick because I'm sure I've seen all the old tile sets 100 times. Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it too, is that just like, you know, I guess for the old, you know, I almost said the old players, but you know what I mean, like the players that have been playing Barony for a long time, you know, it's kind of like highest value for them because they've seen the same stuff repeated a lot more. But at the same time, it's just like, it's just good for everyone, you know, even new players, where it's just like, it just means there's, the game in general is less predictable about what you're gonna see, and that's just always better. I'm pretty happy with that one. Even in such a small space, I was able to make a little islandy one. The pillars on these both sides actually provide a tactical choice if you get targeted by an imp or something, that you have something to move behind and dodge, rather than just having to run back and forth. This is a horizontal, just a straight up horizontal bridge here that will allow passage between these islands diagonally, which is cool. So we'll call that one done. I think I had the portal facing the wrong direction in this one. I think it needs to face north. Yeah. There we go. Save that. And C. This one should be facing south. It is. D should be facing east. It is. And then A should be facing west, which is this. Okay. Good job. Map 23. Let's make sure this is saved. And we'll go to 24. A little bit of a back pop. Okay, so we got the same thing, but with water in the middle. I think there's a lot we can do with this. This is a good size for a tile set. So this is called what? Purple water tower. How fancy. So let's open up. just this. But we need to create a spot for this to live.
Back up. Wait. Okay.
So I just realized that I can, if I want to, leave this one as just a pool with no way to get to it. Because there's no 2x2 sections here, which means an exit won't ever spawn here. So I think I'll actually save this as variant B. For 24A. 24B. And then we'll get rid of all this. Okay, open up B. It has a little platform you can land on. Go ahead and metal here a little bit, add a pillar. This leaves your back rather exposed when you spawn here, but you've got water right there, so if you catch on fire, you can just run in. I think this is fine. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep the theme of these to be water-oriented. Oh, let's work on this stuff real quick. Okay, so with this variant, I actually narrowed the island a little bit so that I could center these elements without it feeling awkward. And I did that just literally by making one side of the one side of the island into a void, which is fine. Nobody can stop me from doing that. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm trying something a little silly here. I'm putting a lever-operated arrow trap right here, so that the player can walk up here and just like pull this lever and shoot a bunch of arrows on command, which is something that the game doesn't have. I don't know that it needs it. Maybe 2 is overkill. Let's not do 2 of them. Yeah, something like this. So you walk up and you pull this lever and it just fires. And you just keep pulling it. And it keeps firing. It'll run out of arrows, or you could pick the arrows out of it. But the point is that the only way to shoot this arrow trap is to pull that lever. I mean, you could use it to like fire at a imp or a shadow that's floating out in the void. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's a dumb idea. I think I might get I'm gonna move this over here. Yeah. I like that better. Wait a second. Yeah, that's where I wanted it. Okay. I mean, it's goofy, but I like it. This is C. Mortal Muskrat, what's up, dude? Gotten to see any of the Underworld streams yet? This looks dope. Thanks, man. Yeah, putting bridges out here. What you're not going to see is that I'm putting these teleport beacons on every single island in the Underworld. And when you activate them, it sends you to another teleport beacon, and you don't know which one it's going to send you to. And so you don't have to... so you don't have to teleport, or you don't have to fly in order to get around the Underworld. But if you use the teleporters, you don't know where you're going to end up. So it's still dangerous. That's sort of the goal, is to make it feel still dangerous. So let's work on map variant D for this little water tower. I'm thinking maybe I could just put some sinks on one of these. Finally convinced your brother and his friends to get it. They love the... Oh, that's awesome! I'm really excited to hear that. That pumps me up, man. Very cool. This needs to face north. Put 2 sinks on this island. You played until midnight? That's freaking sweet. Very cool. I saw you had a problem that Wall of Justice helped you out with not being able to load or something. You get that sorted out? I hope so. Okay, I think the only thing I haven't done with this water is... Actually, I have an idea. I have a check pick on that thread. We stopped take a rec when I tried to load back in. They needed the save file. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that can go wrong with mid-game saves. The number one I've seen is that people quit when they're dead. And if you quit when you're dead, then that means your save file is... It's either deleted or it's going to be out of sync if the rest of the party moves on without you and gets to the next level while you're dead. So that's a serious problem. I felt like there was another thing I was going to mention. Yeah, there's just two things. And I guess the other one is the piece of advice he already gave you, which was, you know, make sure they're going to continue game and then lobby, continue game and then there's a tab on the top right where you can go to multiplayer games. Yeah, I don't know. It's all good. Wasn't discouraging us from starting a new run. Oh, that's great. They kept going on about class and race stuff. Well, that's so cool. I'm very excited to hear that. Thanks for sharing, man. This is sort of a more closed-in tower here. It's got the waterfalls coming off the back. I could have the water streaming in right here. Counsel them through the first boulder deaths. And by counsel, you mean laugh loudly at them? That's really funny. You made the right choice, son. That's pretty good. Got around dinner time. Catch you later. All right, man. Cheers. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Always, always. Okay, that does it for 24. Let's load up 25. All right, we have a little lava river with towers on the side that have gold inside of them. You gotta think about what would be the right amount to replace of this one. Because I could replace the whole thing. Wouldn't be, you know, it would leave me free to do some more experimenting within this one. These tiles, the way they're set up, there's no, there's just no where for an exit or a portal to land. And so I could leave this one perfectly intact as it is. And it would be fine. It could go in the game with the new paradigm just fine. So I feel like maybe I should just do that, leave it as it is. I mean, in general, I kind of like the idea of the underworld, you know, this stuff being more traversable. Like, so I could have bridges that go to these gates rather than having them be like a levitation only secret. So I think I might do that. I don't think it'd hurt anything if I did that. I cleaned up the sprites a little bit. They were a little excessive. Yeah. So let's just hammer on recreating this one, and I'll replace here to here. The underworld could use a lot more variety than it has, so I'll use this as an excuse to just add more variety. And I'll try to keep it themed to the idea of a lava river. I'll have more lava. Just like I did with the water tower, I'll just make sure to get plenty of lava in this one, in this set of variants. right, sorry. Catching up on some other training wheel business stuff here. Sorry, yeah. My workday sometimes gets a little randomized, and I'm looking at some stuff that's happened on the Epic Game Store for Barony and our Reddit, our subreddit and stuff. Okay, so I added bridges to this like I said I would. I mean, there's still no place to teleport in here, and so it's still not like, you know, totally accessible. So the bridges aren't really doing much, except for like being more forgiving if you have flutter or something. So, you know, whatever. Okay. Let's see if we can make variant B. This one is saved, right? Okay. Again, one of the things that's nice about this particular map is that, you know, it's just a little bit bigger than the last one, and so it means the variety of the types of variants I can put in here is like, it's just a different world of possibilities. Not to like oversell it, but it really does give me a lot more to play with. I have an idea. Let's kind of replicate the same structure here. We can stick the beacon in this corner. I should get used to calling it a beacon instead of a shrine, because we already have shrines in the game. That's what you put the orbs on. It's like a little worship space for that particular elemental orb, and I want to keep that language like kind of consistent. Okay, just taking a look at the Epic Game Store here. You can see we have the beta art and the standard Barony art, which looks a lot cooler, IMO, compared to the... Like, I was trying something out with the Join the Party box art, but I don't think I don't think it's better. I think it makes the game look kind of cheap, honestly. Oh, I didn't mean to run Barony. Oops. I don't know who wants like a one-click interface to start a game. But here, check it out. We're watching. Alright, we're going back in time to the old version of Barony real quick. I'm gonna see if I can manually shut this down. I don't need to load Barony right now. Yes, please close Barony. Okay. Let's bring Epic back up. Let's go back to my library. We're gonna go to store page. Okay, well, I was hopeful that we would see the DLC art here. I don't know why Epic hasn't put our art up yet, but we've informed them that we have better assets for this, and so hopefully that'll get updated soon. That's the kind of thing. It's just like, you know, whatever. I'm a little embarrassed that we didn't notice sooner that art was wrong, because, you know, there was a time when 4 million people were looking at that page, and none of them, not a single one of them, saw the correct art for our DLC, and I'm certain that I provided it at the very beginning. And so, yeah, I'm just a little frustrated that that's how that went down, but, you know, what are you gonna do? What does one do about it? This game deserves more love. Well, thank you. We're trying to make sure it gets all the love that we can manage, you know? And there's only so much we're in control of, so we just gotta have peace with the things that we don't control. I'm not really happy with this level. Like, maybe I'll do something like this. There you go. I just felt like it's the wrong format, you know. It's good to have a big open section with lava. That's fine. Okay. Okay, so you can't go this way unless you have water walking or flight. And you can't go that way at all. So why don't we gotta open up one of those ways. We could put this here. We could just eliminate this pillar. Okay, this is a little bit of an unconventional room shape, but it's open, and when I say open, I mean there's a lot of ways to traverse it, and I think that makes it interesting. Let's put one more pillar right here so that there's a little more combat, a little more options for managing combat if you happen upon combat in this room. Hiding behind pillars is an extremely important strategy in the underworld. So I don't want to take that away. Okay, this is a good rework. Okay, that's facing east. That's fine. Attributes. Okay. Okay. Fresh eyes. We're going to invariant C. I think this will probably be the last room I work on today. Thanks for hanging with me, Peanut Pirate. I think you might be my only viewer right now. I appreciate you sticking around. I'd still probably stream if no one was watching, just because I think having the recording on hand is, you know, speaks for itself. Well, I know that you understand the streamer life and how, you know, sometimes there just aren't viewers, so that's fine. I mentioned on a previous stream that I'm not really, I'm definitely not doing this for streamer money. I'm really doing it just for transparency with the community and to engage with you guys. Yeah. Hopes that one day it could be. You know, I have similar hopes. Like, there's no reason that our game dev streams couldn't be profitable in some way. I would definitely welcome it, and I would stream more often if I had that opportunity to make a little turning wheel money for streaming development. But that's not the reality I occupy right now. Okay, we need a way off of this island. Let's go ahead and just put some tiles down. Tiles, I said. Tiles. Boom. So you spawn in right here and you're stuck in a lava lake. That's fine and fun. Honestly, I hope everyone is gone watching some other Barony streamer. That would be... I would actually prefer people watch a Barony streamer than me. Because that supports that streamer and encourages them to stream Barony more, and I'm all about that. Might stream Barony in a sec. Well, whoever's on, I'll probably double down on who's... If there's more than one, I'll probably double down on whoever's got some viewers to help keep their stream alive. So if that's you, I will... I was gonna say I will raid you, but what does it matter? I don't have any viewers. Whatever. It's the thought that counts. Keep the hustle, that's right. The hustle and or the bustle, as they say. Alright, this is a fine C, I guess. It's funny, you look at this map from the top and it doesn't seem that different, but it's very different. Okay, let's do E or D. I think I'm gonna do a 2 rooms situation. Actually, let's do a long room situation. This doesn't have to be symmetrical here. Let's go ahead and extend the floor down to its limits. Maybe we'll do like a lava moat around this structure. Spawn in the room, come out. There's a moat and plenty of island for things to spawn on. I think that's decent. I could go ahead and put some like lava falls right here and here. Something like that. I think that's fine. empty. All right, and now the obligatory island map, I think. All right. We have our obligatory islands set up. We've kept the lava theme by having one of the islands have a big old pool of lava on it. And that is cool because it's it's dangerous. You have to navigate this narrow hallway and not fall in lava. And then there's a pillar here so that, you know, there's some... You know what? I feel like I should move this pillar in just a little bit, like... you know, it's touching this thing, but it's like... Unless you break it, there's no way to stand on there, so it just makes the space a little less awkward, I think. A little more asymmetrical, a little more organic feeling. Okay. So that was E, and we're good to go. So we've got 26, which is a 3x3 pillar. We've done quite a few of those already. 27, which is another complex. 28, which is this boulder chase hallway. 29, which is another boulder chase hallway. And then that's it. So unfortunately, I need to stop my stream now. Big thanks again for those of you who've been hanging out with me. I will probably finish these levels tonight, and I will probably make levels. Cheers, Peanut. I'll probably make levels 30 and 31 and maybe a 32 to include a little bit more maybe puzzly areas, kind of like the other tile sets have. So yeah, I might get those done tonight off stream, and then we'll be done with the Underworld tile set, and then we can ship it. And the next beta update after this one will have all this content. So I'm very excited for y'all to see that. So anyway, thanks once again for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fantastic freaking Thursday, and you know, be good to those around you. Cheers. Love you. Bye.